morning and welcome to Fishing with CJ. And as you can see, we're out on the sea. Going out, we're going to drop the anchor on a spot that we tried a week or so ago to see if we can't pick up some more species. But that's the plan for today. Obviously, I always have a plan B, so we'll see how that goes, see how plan A goes, and then maybe we'll try plan B, which will be a drop-in on a couple of wrecks. I want to keep an eye out for the bass. There's a big shoulder bass moving around in the bay here at the moment, I feel. So if we see the gold working, then we might drop in on them and have a go with a lure for them, casting to them. But that's the plan at the moment. We're heading out. We've got 4 miles to go. We're not going too fast because it's quite choppy out here at the moment. But this is forecast to die away, so this is just what's left over from the wind that was blowing yesterday. And this should flatten out all through the morning, hopefully. So that's what we're doing. We're going out to sea, and well, I'll start the channel when we get there. Right, so we're just chopping up a bit of old frozen bait, which we're going to put down on a sack on the anchor, just to create a bit of a scent trail. See if we can't draw some fish in. Got all sorts of old rubbish in here. Because you're using onion sacks to do this. I like to double bag them actually, because what you'll find is that the dogfish will come in and try and rip their way into the sacks, and what you don't want is all your slick to go in one go. So I'll put this inside another bag before I put it down on the anchor. It's still quite frozen, my hand's cold now. I mean, it will draw dogfish in without a doubt, but hopefully it will draw in other fish with that. So. One sack full, put that inside another sack, and then that will go onto the back of the anchor when I drop the anchor. Right, well, we're here. The anchor's down. Just need to get some rods tackled up and get fishing. But yeah, it is flattening out. Still a little bit of a swell, but I think, as I say, the forecast is that this is going to die away. Keep your fingers crossed. Catch you in a bit. So there's the bait. It's a nice little Joey mackerel, single circle hook, which is just coming out of the bottom of the base of the bait there, the juicy end, and it's elasticated on. These little loose ends of elastic, and let's get him down there. It's still frozen, so it will be releasing its juices gradually when it gets underneath and thaws out. Let it down gradually, because what we don't want is we don't want it swirling up the line as it goes down. So we'll let it down, stop it, let it down, stop it. So each time we let it out, we stop it, drifts back down tight again. I've only got a 10-ounce lead on here, which may or may not be enough. We'll hit the bottom nice and hard, just see if it holds. Yeah, it seems to be holding bottom all right. Okay, a little bit more line. Donk, you can feel it hitting the bottom. Right, think about setting up another rod. Right, I had a little bit of interest on this rod here just then. Oh yeah, and again. I suspect it might be out in a white in or something like that, but we'll wind it in nonetheless and see what we got on here.
time we get a tug. There is something there that ain't very big. Oh well, no, it's tugging again. It has woken up a tad. Oh, still tugging. Still going. Still tugging. What is it? It's a whiting. Got him unhooked. And oh, and he swam away. Well done. Well done. Get that bait back up again and get it back down there. Just show you how I'm fishing this one. Got a little 6-ounce lead on the bottom. Got a French boom, about, I don't know, 30 centimetres up. And then a length of fluorocarbon to a size 1 hook, which is baited with a bit of ragworm. With the idea of trying to get a bream, an early bream, but another whiting on here, I think. Oh, it's fighting better than a whiting. Still there. Still there, still rattling, rattling ting. Oh ho! Ooh, ooh, ooh. We have the target species. Look at that bad boy. What a little beauty. What a little beauty. You've got to be careful, they're very spiny. But what a beautiful little fish. So well happy with that. We're going to have to photograph that for the species hunt. So happy days. Sleepy little thing. Happy days. Look at that beauty. Give me a kiss. Well, we've had a whiting and a bream so far. The big rod, the one that's got a whole mackerel on, hasn't actually had a touch on it, which I'm a bit suspicious of, because I would have suspected that we'd have got some dogfish activity or something like that. So I'm going to wind it in just to make sure that the line is not wrapped up around the line. It needs to be refreshed the table. Yeah, as I suspected, possibly while I was tacking up I didn't notice, but been dogged. Bait is gone completely. So I've got a fresh bait on there and get it back out there. Well, it was knocking, but I put the camera on and it stopped, as usual. Well, here's a surprise. A little spotty. Look at that beauty. So little place, wasn't expecting that. Go and swim, and away he goes. And he's gone. Happy days. Right, I've got some activity on the outside rod now. If there is something new, it's not going after your fight. That rebait and get it back down again. Right, can I put the camera on it? Stop. Keep baiting the upside rod up and get it out, and then come back and see if there's any bait left on there. Well, it's still knocking on there. Oh, something on there. Oh, waking up a bit more. Got a bend in this rod now. I suspect it might be a dogfish, actually. A little bit of bend in this rod. Quite, just kind of heavy. We got colour here. Oh, and it is a dogfish, as I thought, and I've brought my other line up as well. Right, got a bit of activity on the big bait rod now. Yeah, knocks going on there. Probably dogfish, but you never know. I owe you one dance already for the bream. Let's see if we can get a double dance. Ooh, ooh, something there. Well, there was something there. Come on. There was something quite solid there, but it seems to have gone a bit dormant now. Got any colour? No. Yeah, there was something on there, but bait is completely intact. So I suspect that might have been a ray on there actually. I should have left it a bit longer. Let's get it back down there again. Right, got a bit of activity on the uptide rod. Which is fishing down tide, to be truthful. I don't think it's fishing up tide. Yeah, definitely rattling and knocking on there now, isn't there? Got a bluey on here, haven't we? So half a bluey. I suspect it's a dogfish, and I also suspect them coming up my other rod. My other line. I'll keep this up now. Oh, so awful long way over that way. I'll keep this rod up once we round it in, I think, until the tide settles down in the opposite direction. It's a bit... Yeah, there is a dogfish. And he's hooked around my line, is it? Where is it on that, in terms of that line? As we've said many times, you have to control the head and the tail, because they will wrap themselves around your hand and very quickly take the skin off your hand. I mean, just one tiny little rub and it'll do that to you. The circle hooks are working well. So, a little dogfish back down to be a nuisance to somebody else. He's rolled himself into a ball as a defensive mechanism. Why did they do that? I wonder. Well, I'm just winding this up to check the bait, and there's definitely some weight on there, so I'm suspecting that we have a dog on the leash. Maybe not. If it is, it's only little. Oh yeah, we have a dog. Oh, it wasn't even hooked. The greedy fellow had just swallowed the bait whole. So we can get him back down again. And away. So what does the tide tables tell us? Let's have a look. Oh, the weather says it's going to be a bit of rainy. Doesn't look like it's raining here, but it might be inland. Should get up to 14 degrees, which is good. And the tide, southeast, New Haven, tide is falling. Next low tide in 0 minutes, 0 minutes. So in other words, it is now. Yeah, low is at 10:03. Oh, blimey! Look at that. There's a surprise. Hello. So you give him a bit of fish. Yeah. Hello. Give him a bit of manky fish out of me rubby bucket. Not interested, but I have to say it's the first time I've ever seen that here. I mean, you see them, but it's the first time I've ever seen one next to the boat in this close. Let's get some photographs of it. Whereas I love to see wildlife, and I love to see something like that come up. It's kind of special. It does mean if I hook into any fish, I'm gonna have to bring them in quick, because it will steal them off the hook, without a doubt. It's obviously loitering around here. Perhaps he's got faith in me catching some fish. Looks like Sylvester the seal's come back. I must be the only show. I must be the only show in town. There's no other boats around here. It's definitely hovering around me. Just slack water, we're just drifting around. I think I've got another dogfish on here. seal's gone off over there now. Dogfish? No, we haven't got a dogfish. Strange enough, I thought we had a dogfish then. Might put a fresher bait on it though. We'll use this, we'll put this bait down one more time, just until the tide starts to run, and then we'll change it over to a fresh bait when the tide starts running. Nearly swung around now. I suspect that once the tide and the wind are going in the same direction, it will flatten out quite a lot more. Let's have a look more on this one. Oh, I hate these wood rests. Oh. Angle grinds to that and open it up a bit. Nothing on here, I don't think. Probably no bait. Well, one good thing, there's no May rock coming up the line, which is good to see. Oh no, the bait's still there. Bait's still good. Yeah, slack water, fish stop feeding, don't they? I was getting a few little knocks and rattles on this, and I wound into it, and I didn't think there was anything on the bottom, but on the way up it felt like something's hit it on the way up. What have we got here? Oh, the whiting! He's obviously been on there a while, I think. Yes. Come here. There's a patient seagull there who can have this if he's quick. Yeah, he got it. And woof, gone. That must wriggle and tiggle and wriggle inside you. Perhaps you'll die. That must be kicking off inside his gut. Weird. Right, let's get another fresh worm on there, get it back down again. Right, let's get this old mackerel that's been down here for ages and has actually been inside several fish already. Oh, might be inside another fish actually. Might be another doggy on it. Oh. Yep, sure enough. Sure enough. Sure enough. We have another doggy. Look at that. And away. This is how I like to hook my mackerel baits up when we're ray fishing, is I cut the head and the tail off them, and then we just put the hook so that it's between those two fins and it comes out in the middle of the belly cavity like that. And then we're going to whip it in place, which keeps that hook nice and proud. Oops. Good healthy bit of elastic at the tail end, and then just back down it again. And a couple of little overhand knots on there. Hitches rather, probably overhand hitches. So a couple of little overhand hitches on there and cinch them down. Look at the juices dripping out of that already. That's it wrapped around my fingers now. Get it off my fingers, that's it. So there we go, nice straight bait. But it seems to work with rays for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah. Let this down slow because there's not much tide running still. There's the lead on the bottom. And I think I can put the uptide rod out now. We're kind of facing the way we're meant to be. Tight enough on the anchor. Yeah, let's put the uptide out. Now I like to use a lead like this when I'm uptied in, because the lead sits down and it holds these grapple into the bottom. So if you imagine that's on the bottom and this is holding it in like that. And for the purpose of the cast, we just hang the bait onto the wires of the lead. Just so we haven't got it flailing around in the boat. It quite often comes detached during the cast, but as I say, it's more just so you haven't got lead baits and everything flailing around in the boat as you're casting. Right, so if there was anybody else in the boat, I would say casting in the boat. And then you let the line out. It's obviously it's sinking at the moment. You can see it's sinking. You'll know when it's hit the bottom because it'll suddenly stop taking line like that. And then you want to let payout line down tide, so you end up with a big curved line coming around from the lead, coming around and then back to the rod tip, and that way it's pulling the grapple into the bottom. Now we're in about 80 to 100 feet of water here, so you want it to be in a big curve going back down. And you know if it's working because the line going from the rod tip is not in the same direction as the lines that are going to the down tide stuff. you're on the bottom anyway, so even if it pulled around and ended up down tide, you're fishing on the bottom. Feels like it might be in. So you can see my down tide lines are all going in that direction, but this line is going off to the side, so it means that the grapple is in the bottom. If you get a decent fish on it, will break the lead out, and you'll end up with either with a slack line, or it will go off down tide, and then you get a big lunging bite. But what you don't do with an up tide is don't strike into it, because all you're doing is you're just taking the bow out of the line, and you don't want to do that. So you just wind into it until you feel a fish there. Then you might want to set the hook. So in homage to the great Graham Pullen, wherever he may be, I'm now fishing with 1, 2, 3, 4 rods. I'm not up to the 7 or more that he fishes with, but you know, this is a lot for me. I don't normally fish with 4 rods, so it could all end in tears or tangles, or both. So I've got this one as a up tide, which has got bluey on. This rod has just got a jig on the end of it with 3 squid jigs on it, just bouncing on the bottom. This rod has got a whole mackerel on, and this one has got some ragworm on, and it looks like it might have a fish on actually. So I've got one more rod I could put out. Should I put some mackerel feathers on it? What do you think? Put a sabiki on it, just flop it down in just underneath the boat, 20 or 30 feet down, just to see if we pick up some bait fish. You know something? Why not? Let's do that, shall we? Yeah, let's tackle it up with some sabikis and whack it down. Yeah, should we do that? Why not? So we're going to put some sabikis on. So, in homage to the great Graham Pullen, I am now fishing with 5 rods. That one looks like it might have a fish on, and you can see. That might be bringing that rod up. Oh. So I've got a bit of a dogfish and whiting nip one pearl one going on here. Too much of it. So we've got a dogfish on the big it's that time. Cup of tea. And a sticky cake. See what happens.
Okay, so a bit of cake and a cup of tea has worked. We've got a fish on here. Ooh. Ooh.
Silent Coast Guard, this is lifeboat 1415, 1415, over.
Lifeboat's out, I can see it.
Lifeboat 1415, this is Silent Coast Guard, over.
Over there.
Channel 0, please, one.
Lifeboat 1415, Silent Coast Guard, change channel 67, correction, channel 0, standby, over.
0, standby.
Right to be having on the beach. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the rods, I'm going to lift the anchor, put a new chum sack on it. I'm going to move, I don't know, about half a mile in that direction, along the same ledge, but a little bit further west, because where we were catching fish is to the west of us, because obviously the boat has swung around now and we are lying to the east of where we were fishing. So we're going to go a little bit further west and we're going to give it a go there. So we'll get on with that, and I'll put the camera on when there's anything worthy of filming.
Right, casting in the boat. So crossing up tide, the boat, watch it play out until you see the lead hit the bottom. Alright, that's the lead hit the bottom. And you want to let a little bit more slack out, so you've got this big bow in the line coming back round to the lead from the rod. Should be about it. Yeah, it's definitely going off to one side, isn't it?
Let's put a bit more line out. Yeah, so we've moved position. We've moved about half a mile west, and whereas before I was on the edge of the slope that comes down into this hole, which is called Stroudy's Hole, we're now at the bottom of that ledge. Now there's a kind of gully, and then there's some features. There's about 2 or 3 small features just here to the right of us. So we're in the gap between the features and here, which hopefully will act as a funnel. So the scent that's coming out of our rubby sack is going to funnel into that gap. That's the theory. Let's see if we catch any fish. Could just be that today they're not feeding on the flood. We'll give it an hour or so, and then I don't know, maybe we'll go and drift a wreck or something. We'll see how it goes. So I'm determined to catch a ray today. That'll be the next target species. We've had the bream, so now we need to get the ray. So I'll put the camera on when something happens.
Somebody's getting some flashes and bangs and a bit of rain, I feel, today. Certainly rain, but not here.
It's been triggered by the air coming off the sea and onto the land, so hopefully we're not going to get anything like this off the sea, because out at sea that would be quite emotional. But if you look that way, which is where the weather's coming from, it's nice and clear. So there's the weather forecast, and there's the weather forecast inland. Yeah, spectacular stuff. Big old clouds. Could be a little breeder. Going, it's going. Tighting. But you never know. You never know. We got here. Yeah, it's a whiting. Right, and away.
Here's a little wrinkle I've worked out with French booms, because I don't know if you know how a French boom works, but basically you just lie it. This I'll take it off and then reapply it. So put a bead on your line, right? Because you lie it against the line like that, and then you feed the line around the other side of that little eye. Let's take the weight. So you feed the eye that around this line 3 or 4 times, like that. But if you've got a bead on it, the bead will just sit into that eye, like that. So it makes it easier to move it and undo it, and it stops it all sort of bunching up and making a mess. So use a bead, works every time. From Salmon Tools and Tackle. So yeah, credit to them, their supplier supply good worms. Right, get back down there and catch me a black breed. Wind this other rod up and see what we got on it, and then I think we ought to check the upside rod, because nothing's happened on that for a while. Which either means the bait's been robbed or there's a dogfish lying on it, but it's kiting up, it's not at the bottom. All 3 ways it needs to check. Right, so we did have a fish in here. Let's get this in and see what's on. Yeah, definitely. So it's coming up, I can see some colour. It's a doggy. It looks so big in the water. I remember the water, the refraction of the water makes them look big. And then when they get up the surface, they come at this point. Oh, and he's let go. After all that, it wasn't hooked. It was just hanging on to the bait. And that bait, look, doesn't look like it's been touched. Hook's nice and proud though. So that's proper catch and release. Happens a lot with dogfish. I mean, they've got quite sharp little rearward facing teeth, I think. They get caught on the bait. Certainly see it on the beach quite a lot.
like there's a dogfish on here as well. Could mean that the rubby sacks works and they're all working their way up the scent trail and coming across my baits, or they've come on the feed. We want a ray, come on, ray or a bream, or anything else other than a whiting or a dogfish, to be truthful. Oh, no, it's just a big heavyweight. Bait looks untouched. Bait back down, let's put it back down again. We're going to see the tide out, so as the tide starts to slacken it might come and feed, which is when we were catching decent fish before, when the tide slackened, and then go and hit a wreck on the ebb on the way in. What do you think? We'll see, give it another run. 3 hours or something like that, make a decision. The tide is slackening now, so it might improve. Let's check the other baits, make sure we've got baits and we're not fishing with empty hooks, because they've been out for a while now, and there are a lot of whiting around. They're all rag baits to nothing. And then, well, if needs be, we'll bait up again and keep on fishing. I was for a second there thinking green, now back to thinking. Actually, I'm not going to say what I think it is, because either way I'm going to be wrong. What is it? A whiting! Dogfish again. Quiet. See, I put the camera on, it stopped. See, the tide is slacking, the fish are coming back on again. Right, put the cameras on and it stopped, so it's dabby do. So, beauty. You can tell it's a dab because it's smooth that way and rough that way, and it has a big curve in its lateral line there. Whoops! And it jumps. I mean, this has got spots. This has got spots. So not always spots will tell you it's a place. But the other thing about dabs, hold them up to the light, you can see through it. Right, let's get him back. Give him a quick kiss. And away he Abu Dhabi does. Right, I'm packing away. We're going to go and have a drift over a couple of wrecks, I think.
Just winding in these rods. There's something on here, I think. It's either that I'm bringing that one up. Oh, suspect it might be a doggy.
They're dogfish. Finished the session at anchor. The tiniest of dogfish. Tiniest of dogfish, beautiful little fish. Hooked in his flank. Wrapped up the line. What a little beauty. What a little bit. Look at the markings on that. Beautiful. Hooray! I realise he's free and it swims away. Right, got one more rod to wind in, and that rod we're going to tackle up with lures for drifting the wrecks, and then when we've done that we're going to go and get a couple of wrecks. So let's get packed away and let's get on it. Right, well, we've dropped in on a couple of wrecks. Loads of fish hanging on, but unfortunately it was slack water, just a little bit of tide running there. Two little commercial boats on here, we think they know the sea. I mean, there's fish in here because I've saw them land one just now, but
fishing. That sled is those public commercial boats for catching. Not a lot, but we're getting the odd one. Yeah, that's why it's called fishing. So we're heading in, going to call it a night. So unless something happens, you can see back to the surface.